there any quick and dirty advice that you can give to folks, either in attendance here or that will see these videos later on what they should be focused on, stepping into monetization efforts at a less sophisticated university, right? These offices are generally small with very small budgets. They've got $10 and need 15 to make something happen. What is the quick, dirty advice that you could give to them?
The question was quick and dirty advice for a less sophisticated university with limited resources to step into monetization.
Yeah, that's a tough one, right? There's a lot of those. So that program that I just mentioned, the IDEA program, right, has 36 universities that report data to Autumn, the organization I also just mentioned. And out of those 36 universities, all of their metrics on average are much lower, right, than the other 150 plus from the other 23 states that report. So all of them deal with some of the same challenges and size, bandwidth, number of people. And so the quick and dirty advice to any office that is under-resourced or new, or like newly creating this stuff, is build the relationship with faculty and the culture first. I think so you create activation first, and then you can get into benchmarking the offices that do it best and instilling some best practices. But the first thing you have to do is build the culture, because if you don't have the culture that incentivizes the type of activity, you'll never get the front end of that pipeline flowing.
I'd say place the IP with a great entrepreneurial team, whether it's from the university or outside, and enable them. They're going to take the IP and make it valuable.
I would encourage universities to be creative and experiment, particularly if they're under-resourced or if they don't have a very deep research base. Very few universities do, in the context you're talking about. And we talked today a little bit about the limitations and the challenges of having an effective licensing program. So I would encourage you to look at the entire spectrum. Look at incubators, look at SBIR programs where faculty entrepreneurs can form a company and receive competitive grants purely for commercialization, as well as licensing. Kind of think of it not even as a spectrum, but think of it as kind of a contemporal activities, and think about where you might want to allocate those resources. If you don't have rock star researchers yet to license their kind of core patents, you might put more resources in a different area, whether promotion of SBIR grant applications and training of how to do that, or you might harness the resources of your local community and bring in those serial entrepreneurs in a structured way through an incubator program or mentorship program. But it might be you're growing an entire ecosystem that eventually will turn into a very robust tech transfer office. But I'm not claiming to have the answer, but I would encourage experimentation in that realm.
Myron, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say I think that colleagues have hit upon those, but I think that mentoring is a huge vehicle where you've got typically alumni that have been successful, and if there's a culture of in a particular college, I think that they're willing to come back in and help out. And then I think the other thing is to avail yourself of programs like I-Corps and other sort of government-funded or regional development programs that can be that can get you jump-started, because I think success breeds success, but it's really how do you get started and work your way down so you can generate some licensing revenue or some outcomes so you can fund or afford to build your program, and it takes time.
Yeah, if I were going to add anything, I would say piggyback on a lot of the work that's already been done and focus on developing your niche. So there are so many resources out there, whether they're templates or, and lastly, it's a really collegial community. People should just reach out to one another, and I think they do. So whether you're a member of Autumn or even if you're not, people are happy to talk and try to solve some of these problems, and it's not a one-size-fits-all.
There are template licenses, for instance, that TTS can avail themselves of. Right.